Here we go, Morgan Gibbs-White to Tottenham. The words of Fabrizio Romano, who reports that we've triggered his 60 million release clause. What an incredible 24 hours. Here we go for Mohamed Kudus. Here we go for Nottingham Forest midfielder Morgan Gibbs-White, and also reports that Atletico have walked away from the Romero deals. There's a lot to discuss. So in today's video, we'll be discussing the imminent signing of Morgan Gibbs-White, and just where he fits in to this Tottenham system, because there's a lot of number 10s at the club, or players that can play in the 10 role. But if you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. Let's crack straight into it then. So Fabrizio Romano took to X to say Morgan Gibbs-White to Tottenham. Here we go. Spurs trigger 60 million release clause after direct contact with Forest today. Medical booked and set to take place in the next 24 hours. It follows the Kudus deal as well, which is absolutely massive. And what an incredible 24 hours. So there's no doubt about it. Morgan Gibbs-White is an unreal signing. It's a big signing. I would argue a statement signing. But the real question is where does he fit into this Tottenham team? And should the money be spent elsewhere? Should it be spent on a number 6, on a more natural number 8? That is the question. But Gibbs-White's a big signing. Yeah, we can't turn down that opportunity to sign him, if you ask me. And that's no surprise, no secret that big clubs and their supporters are upset by this. We do have lots of depth in that 10 position. James Maddison, Dejan Kulusevski, Lucas Bergvall, and Mohamed Kudus could all, without any problem, play centrally. They can play that number 10 role. Could Gibbs-White play as an 8? Or some people look here and go, yeah, Kudus is probably going to be a winger. Bergvall's more natural to that 8. Kulusevski can play to the right. So it depends on which way you look at it. But for me, there's got to think as well, be some outside investment from some investment from ENIC, or some outside investment. This is really impressive. And I've got to just say, credit to Daniel leaving the ball, because I've been critical at times, but this is what you do when you in the following season play Premier League and Champions League football. This is what you do after finishing 17th in the Premier League. Up until now, we haven't acted like a top 6 club. We haven't acted like a club that, really struggled last season. We have been acting like a club that finished 17th in the Premier League last season, but the last 24 hours or the last week or so, very, very good. And it's absolutely massive, paying 55 million for Mohamed Kudus and 60 for Gibbs-White, and getting the players in. And all of a sudden, that midfield looks really good. Kudus as well, an attacking position, a player who can play right and left side. But the way I view Gibbs-White is I view it as a good signing. I think this is a really big signing as well. Like I said, probably a statement signing. However, if you said to me, would you rather spend, I don't know, let's just say the money on Adam Wharton or Gibbs-White? Adam Wharton, for example, would have made sense. But I'm not going to, sit here and throw my toys out the pram that we splashed the cash on another 10 or a player that's capable of playing 10, because Gibbs-White is a quality midfielder that will get into most, if not any, Premier League side. This is a really big signing, but it is a genuine question where he does fit in to this Tottenham team. But that's the beauty. For me, you can never have too much depth. You can maybe have too much competition, and and that could be as unhealthy as not having enough. But I think that this is really important. I think we've lacked the kind of that depth, and if we go through an injury crisis, we're prepared, especially in that number 10 position. We're prepared if we go through an injury crisis in the winger position. We're now prepared as well if we get an injury to centre back. So all of a sudden, we're racking up a really good squad. I think it's fair to say we are officially back. And like I said, real credit to the club for the last kind of few hours. It's been super, super impressive. And Matt Law reports that serious moves by Tottenham to get Kudus and go for Gibbs-White suggests serious investment from ENIC or outside. I think that is what's happening. So time will tell what is the case of that. But this is just a move that's escalated so quickly. I think it's fair to say that we're cooking. We're absolutely cooking to go and pay his release clause. Forest would have wanted probably a little bit more than his release clause. We've gone out there and paid it. It's just wow how quickly that deal was kind of escalated. But I can't reiterate enough, real credit to the club. This is a really big sign, and looking forward to seeing it announced. And then it's, Thomas Frank has got that problem of deciding where he plays, how he fits in all these players, how's it going to gel. That's a beautiful problem, though, to have. And I think signings like this of Kudus and Gibbs-White is really all of a sudden put us back into the spotlight to finish inside, for example, the Champions League places, finish inside that top 4 or 5, where We were really bad last season in the Premier League, so we needed this. Other teams in and around us improving. We've got our acting gear, and boy, have we showed some ambition. To credit to those upstairs. Since Vinay, the new CEO, has come in, we've done some really, really positive things. This is great to see. Get involved in the comments below. How do you feel, one, about the signing of Gibbs-White? Two, do you think the money will be better spent elsewhere? And three, where do you does he fit into this Spurs team? I think it's really hard to pick an ideal three. If I had to pick an ideal three, it really does depend on the opponent. It's so hard to say at this time, but at the moment, I think it would be Bentancur or Bentancur, Maddison, and Gibbs-White. A lot of people will say maybe those a bit more pessimistic, a bit more negative in general. Will say, well, I thought the Kudus deal was going to fall through then. If Gibbs-White's going through, something would have majorly gone wrong. Doesn't look like to be the case. And other people would say that maybe we sell one of our top assets, such as James Maddison, or we're going to sell other players, maybe like both Basuma and Bentancur, to be able to afford this. But I just think that probably Daniel Levy, Enoch, and the board have looked at it and gone, do you know what? We really are so far off the best teams in England, and that is the reality. So significant investment is needed. And if that is the case, I think they're absolutely right to think that. What a time to be a Spurs fan. We are cooking, baby. We're back. Kudus and now Morgan Gibbs-White. And looks like we're keeping our best player as well in Romero. This is special. This is really, really special. I think it's a difference as well that winning a trophy makes, not being funny. And credit to Thomas Frank as well. Clearly, has managed to attract these players. If you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. As I said, get involved in those questions I put you in the comments below. For now, a massive come on, you Spurs.